They call me Bamboo Boy, yeah, I print too fast. Firmware lock, man, I still got stacks. Tuning flow rates, watch my layers align. You're still unbolden, bruh, it's Voron time. They mad cause I'm clicking that AMS. Color swaps clean, no spaghetti mess. Locked ecosystem, bro, I don't care. I just hit print, and it's all right there. Bamboo
Good morning,
Boy,
good morning. All right, welcome to the Sunday Ramble. It's so funny, I did a video with that head-mounted camera. And I actually started doing it this morning with it, but the video quality is so bad. It's so bad, but I wish I could find a camera like that that really gave me good, decent video quality, because it's so handy not having to carry around a camera just to do a video. So what are we up to this Sunday? Well, this is cleanup day, and I've already begun. And I have a new filament I'm going to be doing a video on. And, lights on. The new filament I'm going to be doing a video on. It's so funny because I had a 3D print job that I needed to do. And I was actually out of black PETG. And I reached out to a friend of mine. I had already ordered it, but it hadn't shown up yet. So I reached out to a friend of mine and I said, hey, do you have any PETG? And he said, yeah, I do. And so he brought me over the roll, and it is Elegoo Rapid PETG, which is cool because I have not done a video on that material, and now I'll have that opportunity. Now, I don't know if he doesn't have a filament dryer. I know he doesn't. I know he has a filament dryer box. And I did the initial print with it, and this is one of the products. And you can kind of see the pops and stuff in it. You can definitely see that this material was definitely wet. But it printed really well, and the product came out perfect. So I've got it over there in the Space Pie, and it's doing some drying right now, because I have several orders up on the board for this product and I need to print out more of them. So look for a video coming on that particular one. I am going to touch base back on the Munbin printer. That was one of the first reviews I had ever done. The first company had ever reached out to me to do a review, and that review was less than ideal, to be completely honest. So I am going to touch base back on the Munbin now that I've been using it for a little while. I know at least one viewer purchased it from my link. But I think I owe them at least the touch back on it, because that initial review wasn't great, right? And, me being fairly new to YouTube, new to the 3D printing commercial business, there's learning process. And, I'm getting there. I'm getting there a little at a time. Bear with me, people. Bear with me, people. Now, you guys know I'm not a Wiggly Bit person, but I did print one out. This is Galaxy Brown, Bamboo Galaxy Brown. And this little Wiggly Bit I made for my granddaughter. The kids love those things. And so I get it. I understand why Dancing 3D Prints does what he does, because, man, kids absolutely love those things. So I get it. I always wondered, should I step into that realm? I don't know. Oof. I'd love to sit down and have an interview with Dancing 3D Prints and talk to him about, the process, how he ended up where he is, like what struck that, all that. I know he went to a lot of local, like craft shows and stuff, and I think he still does. But obviously the numbers he's producing of product, like crazy numbers. So definitely interesting. If you haven't subscribed to him, run over. It's Dancing, and don't know how it's spelled right. I'll just put a link to it down below. But go check him out, because definitely interesting content. If you were thinking about printing miniatures, if you were thinking about printing articulated little bits, that guy is definitely worth checking out. But as I am cleaning up today, I wanted to get your guys' take on the Prusa Core one. It came out And, you know, I did a hot take on that printer before it came out, just with the announcement. And that didn't go well in the comments. Apparently I was unaware of the degree of fanboys that Prusa had. And they really came in to attempt to murder me. It was funny. One of my best performing videos, unfortunately, but I ended up deleting it just because I didn't really want that drama on my channel. So I ended up deleting it. But I had some very valid points. And it's funny that now that the printer's been released to the public and some individuals have received the printer, it really validates those limitations with me, even though they themselves are not identifying it. So understand, the initial printers went to people that would review it favorably. I mean, let's just be honest. They were all, you know, and I could name some names, but we know these guys. They were the same guys that were on YouTube last week tearing down Bamboo for the firmware update while their Prusa machines were in the background. They were clearly people that didn't actually use a Bamboo printer. And when you talk to people that have print farms or have multiple Bamboo printers, they weren't the ones that were fear-mongering everybody about this update. So it was pretty interesting that those same people that were tearing down the Bamboo printers last week are now the ones that are receiving the Core 1s for review. And they're really giving it like a shining review, even though there are some glaring, absolutely glaring limitations. Let me just show you one right here. Watch this. Okay, that's a zero tolerance knife. It's not dull. Go ahead and do that to the Core 1. Go ahead and do that. Tell me how that works out. Like, to have a plastic door, to me, is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That thing is going to get scratched up, tore up, just, oh my God, it's going to be terrible. You know, not coming with a camera blows my mind. In a commercial print situation, you know, now mind you, this is me, commercial printer too. But in my situation, I frequently do overnight prints. And I love to jump in to the Bamboo Handy app and just have a look at the printer in the middle of the night, make sure everything's going well. I typically keep my spaghetti detection off because every once in a while I'll get a false. If I don't check on it and it pauses the job, then it just sits there paused all night. So I shut it off because I don't have that problem. Very rarely do I have a job fail. So for me, like, having the spaghetti detection isn't necessary. So I just shut it off. But I do like to log into the app, check on my prints every once in a while. Now, if you have an A1 or you have a farm full of A1s, you know that video from that camera is trash. It's no good. It's nothing. You don't buy a A1 for the camera. No. You buy the A1 because it's an excellent printer. It's a dependable printer. It's got hardened extruder gears. The hot end is the most simple to change out probably in the industry. It is a nice, dependable workhorse, even though it is not marketed as such. It's marketed as a new person printer. But it is actually a dependable, great workhorse of a printer. I know guys that have 20, 30 of these printers, these A1s, in their farm, and they serve them well. So, I have an X1 and I have an A1. Now, the X1, I do more exotic materials. So, I print with ABS, I print with ASA, and those require an enclosed chamber, certain temperature settings. There's a lot going into that, right? I printed ASA in my X1C not long ago, and man, that was an experience. Chamber temperature was hanging right around 48 to 50 C. I'm assuming the chamber fans were modulating things, because it never got above 50. It'd get up to 50, it would come back down to about 48 and kind of up and down and up and down. So that indicated to me that the chamber fans were kicking on and off. And, you know. Now, here's the interesting thing. This printer is not vented to the outside. Like, at no way, shape, or form. You can see that the exhaust, there's nothing there, right? And there was not an ounce of smell in this building. Not 1 ounce when I was printing ASA. It was so hot. The chamber temperature was 50 C. The sides of the printer were hot. The glass was super hot. Of course, it was closed. It was so hot. I had the bed temp by default was 90 C, and I had it turned up to I think it was 105. And that made my ASA print come out beautiful. I mean, it looked beautiful. But my camera went absolutely bonkers. Oh my God. If I still have the video clip, I'll put it in like right here. My camera went absolutely bonkers. It freaked out. I thought I had ruined my camera. I honestly did. I thought, oh my God, it'll never be the same. It's screwed. I overheated it. The sensor's bad, whatever. Well, it's funny because after the print was done and the printer cooled down, it was fine. It went right back to normal. Like, we go over here. Look at this. Look at that pretty thing. Oh, look at that. I'm trying to get this computer turned on. Bear with me for a second. That is my Raspberry Pi 5. This is the Pi North case. You can actually download this. There's a company that makes the North case, and I can't remember the name of them right now. But on their website, you can download this case and print it. This is carbon fiber PLA, gray carbon fiber PLA, with translucent PETG side case in the front. And so here, let's go to device. This is A1. You don't want to look at that camera. Let me go to X1 Carbon, and we'll fire up the camera. There you go. And see, everything looks good. Looks great again. But it was scary. Like, I thought for sure that I had ruined that camera for sure. But no, it was good after that. So dodged that bullet. It was so funny because I printed with ABS and I don't remember the camera freaking out like that. But I don't know that my chamber temperatures got quite that hot. So, like I said, it was 48 to 50 C inside the chamber. It was maintaining it well, so I really don't have any complaints about the performance. As crazy as it might sound, I want to be a fanboy of the Prusa line. I really do. They have a great community around that printer, and I really want to like that printer. I do. I really, really do. But when they handed out the core ones for people to do the initial review on, they were all clearly fanboys. All clearly fanboys. They were all just talking so positive about it. In reality, the limitations are very clear. Like, they're very obvious. And someone should have honestly addressed them. Now, I will say, let me just say this. I will say, Uncle Jesse got a core one. And he was probably the most objective of all the people that received a core one. You know, he was pointing out some of the issues. You know, there was a couple other reviewers that were like, hey, this camera won't even stick to the chassis, or I can't get the camera to connect. You know, there were some kind of glaring issues that were beyond just the initial observation. So, you know, like it having exhaust fans but no filtration. Like, you could see that before it was even released. Like, that's a problem. That should have a carbon filter. Come to find out, of course, they're going to release it aftermarket, something you get to pay for. It's just like the camera. It doesn't come in a camera. It's an $1,100 printer that, honestly, I really want to. It pisses me off, kind of. I really want to like that printer. But it's an $1,100 printer. It doesn't have a camera. Doesn't have filtration. Has a plastic door. Has a smaller print bed than the X1 Carbon. Is taller, bigger. It's a bigger printer than the X1 Carbon, but has a smaller printer, has a smaller print surface. And one of the most important things is ecosystem. And I feel like if anything Prusa is really working on is ecosystem. I feel like they are working on an ecosystem. It looks like they're working on an ecosystem. I just cannot justify that expense for that printer with the limitations that it has. So, I don't know. Like I said, I really want to like it. I would really love to try one and get my hands on one. There may be something magical about it that I just don't know because I haven't touched it. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I want to like it, but there are things, and you know, one of the problems is that who is reviewing it, right? I'm not biased to Bamboo. I have 2 Bamboo printers, obviously, right? But I'm not biased to Bamboo. I would actually use any company if I felt like it was a dependable, usable printer. But when they hand out the initial printers to the same guys that were on YouTube last week, trying to tear down Bamboo for the firmware update. These guys are tearing down Bamboo for the firmware update, clearly with their Prusa printers in the background. You could see them. So many of them had Prusa printers in the background that you could see, right? One guy, after he got his Core 1, he was super nasty when someone asked, because he had an X1C in the background, and someone asked how it compares, he got kind of like crappy with him. You know, he was like, well, I don't even use that thing that much. It's coming off the shelf. I'm getting rid of it. And I'm like, you can tell that he got super defensive. If you did a direct comparison to them, there are some glaring limitations. There are some things that the Prusa Core 1, without me ever touching the printer, just does not stack up against the X1C. And another thing we have to keep in mind is this X1C is what, 2 years old? This thing has been on the market for a couple of years now. These companies are scrambling to get caught up, and they're dropping products that still fall short. And we know something new's coming from Bamboo. And we know it's got to be better than the X1C. Why would they drop it if it wasn't? So we got an $1,100 printer that doesn't have a camera, doesn't have a multi-material system, doesn't have filtration. So when you print more exotic materials, it's going to be pumping out all that nasty crap right out the back of the machine into your area. A plastic front door, which to me is just absolutely bonkers. I blame Uncle Jesse for that. You know, he broke the door on the Creality machine, and then a bunch of these companies were like, oh, we need plastic doors. I'm glad that not everyone jumped on that. And, you know, can't blame Uncle Jesse. Shit happens. You know, it's not really his fault. But, you know, he did receive a Core 1 for review. But again, and Uncle Jesse, I wouldn't say is biased necessarily in his videos. I love his content, by the way. Not that Uncle Jesse gives a crap about what I think. But Uncle Jesse is not one of the ones that if I'm a 3D print manufacturer, that if I'm sending him a printer, he's probably not going to do a deep dive into how the printer works, right? His job is to show you the printer, give you a rundown, show you some prints, have amazing video, be a very interesting video, but probably not dive in depth with, you know, the details of the printer. And then you see people trying to remove the plastic from the side. They have like a little part of polycarbonate side and top, right? So what they did is they put plastic over to protect it, but then they just ran the screws in it with the plastic on. So when you peel it off, the plastic is underneath the screws. You have to take all the screws out of all the polycarbonate pieces to get the plastic out from under the screws. I'm like, that's wild. Like, oh, that would drive me insane. But Prusa does have a multi-material system. It is ugly. And if you are concerned about the footprint it's going to take up, well, it's it's not good. It's if I wanted multi-material and I was a Prusa fanboy, you'd have to buy the XL. I mean, that's the only way to do it, in my opinion. There's just no way I could justify that MMU. Number one, I have to print it and build it myself. And then on top of that, it's got that buffer and then all your spools and like, oh no, no. I've not seen a clean implementation of the MMU that I would put in a commercial situation by any means, by no means whatsoever. And again, that's my that's my conversation here. We're talking commercial. We're not talking personal. Like, I'm a small business owner, and that's my concern, is small business and implementing printers in a small business environment, which I have 13 minutes left on this Pet G, the Elegoo Rapid Pet G. But that's my concern, is commercial. So when I look at the limitations and like, okay, I've got products I print in ABS or ASA. And will I be able to print ABS and ASA out of the box with the Core 1 in a commercial situation? And the answer is no. Because there is zero filtration on the chamber fans. So when the chamber fans kick on, all that nasty crap that's inside that chamber as it's printing is getting pumped out into your environment. So that's a problem. So yeah, there is a carbon filter available. Again, aftermarket, you have to pay for it. But I wonder if you really bought a Core 1 and then you'd have to buy the camera, buy the filtration system, buy the multi-material system, how much would you actually have in it to make this printer that's been on the market for 2 years? And is it, after it's all implemented, is it implemented as well as this one? The multi-material system is a no-go from Prusa, in my opinion. That is crazy. Like, there's no way I'm doing that. And I know people are going to tear me up in the comments, but again, this is just my opinion. You know, this is the Sunday Ramble. It's just my opinion. I guess it frustrates me because I want to like it. I know guys that have Prusa machines, but they're always working on them. But I know guys that have Prusa machines, and it seems like a really cool community for the most part, as long as you're one of them. If you're not one of them, then they're not super nice people. You know, I had a guy come in my comments this week. He was thumbing down all my videos, calling me Bamboo Boy, saying something about shooting videos in your tract home. I'm like, what's a tract home anyway? Like, I live in rural West Virginia. Like, I'm not even sure what a tract home was. I had to Google that. This is a commercial plaza. Okay? Not my house. So that kind of blew me away. And this guy was super nasty. I ended up having to mute him off the channel just because he was just coming on every day and putting nasty comments on my videos. Now, the weird part was, after I looked into it, actually his nasty comments and all his thumb down on all my videos was actually interaction, and YouTube's okay with that. They don't care either way. If it's a thumb up or a thumb down, a positive comment or a bad comment, they don't really care, because interaction is interaction. And their algorithm just wants to keep you on YouTube. So if you are watching drama, then guess what? Great. They're okay with that. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. I went on my little rant, my little ramble for the week. And, you know, I don't think I get a ton of views on this particular thing, but I guess it's good for me to, like, unplug my brain on Sunday and kind of clear all this stuff out. That way it doesn't creep into my content during the week. So, all right, guys, well, if you like the video, you appreciate the point of view, or don't appreciate the point of view, jump in the comments there. let me know. Thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, give me a thumb whatever. You can give me the finger in the comments, call me a shill if you'd like. Call me Bamboo Boy. Whatever you like to do. Because you're not going to hurt my feelings. No big deal. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. So I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.